Well, hello, and welcome back to Gaming Source Network, your number one source for all things gaming. This is the GSN Round Table. Quiet, boys. I've got a professional job to do here tonight. I'll have none of you barracking from the ranks. This is the GSN Round Table Podcast episode, get this, 63. That's almost as old as me, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Rock, a.k.a. Adam, to my mum, and we've got a great show tonight lined up. So let's get on with it. Now, first of all, guests. You may know our first guest tonight as one of the people responsible for the Stadia Bash Community Network, an avid admirer of the word flange, the one, and thank God the only, Aaron, a.k.a. StadiaVetGaming. Woo, woo, woo. I'll come back to you, mate. Say nothing. Now, the second guest tonight is a huge favourite with the Stadia community, famed for his cutting wit and pragmatic insight, star of the Monday night Stadia chat show. Yes, the one and only Clive Illenden, a.k.a. Clive Illenden. Say nothing, I'll come back. Now, before we get started, did you know you can also get the Roundtable as an audio podcast? It's true. Search for Gaming Source Network on Spotify, Pocket Casts, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts from. You will find us there. Also, if you're watching us live, we want you to be a part of the conversation. Say hi in the chat. And if you want to be sure that we bring your message up during the show, you're going to have to grease our palms with silver, ladies and gentlemen, because you've got to use the super chat or the super sticker feature on YouTube. And my good friend Dan here, who I haven't introduced, but I ought to really, is going to support you and bring your name to the front so you get famous for 5 minutes only on GSN. Last but not least, you can join GSN right here on YouTube. It's true. Members get amazing perks, from exclusive community play live streams to early access videos to GSN merch. So click the join button below to learn more and become a member. Now, let me get back to that fellow in the top corner there. No, not him. The one and only Dan at X2I, the leader of our little gang, the originator of our amazing GSN websites and everything. How are you, my friend? How are you keeping?
I am brilliant, thank you. Happy to have such an esteemed panel of people to join me this evening.
Dropped off, so I don't think it's that
good. I was just checking the footy score, that was all.
Well, yeah, who's winning?
Well, you know, no spoilers.
Okay, no spoilers. Liverpool. No, look, we're gonna put football to one side because there's only one of us in this entire quartet.
We'll be coming to it, though, won't we? Though,
well, if you want to, I don't mind.
No,
you're right. No, I get. Oh yes, segue, ladies and gentlemen. Did you see that? See that, my friends, is why we paid the big bucks for our guests.
See, professionalism.
It's amazing stuff, isn't it? But before we go there on the old football, soccery side of stuff, let's have a quick chat with StadiaVetGaming. They're in the middle of Castle Dramesco, whatever it's called, down at the village. Tesco's. Castle Tesco's.
Well, you know, as a content creator, this is what I'm doing. Great. I just bought this lovely place. It was on sale. You know, and as a content creator, that money, it really pays sometimes.
Yeah, look at you there doing all your blinging.
They said it was a bit haunted though, and I haven't figured out where yet.
No, I can't see any
giant
ghosts.
lady in the background.
Yeah, one little old lady owner. That's it. Just the one little old lady owner. Well, not little, quite tall lady owner.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Massibo. Clive, not Lord Kensal. I wish people would get that. They confuse the two.
I'm always
confused.
Very
different.
They
look very different.
It's awkward. Yeah, we're completely different.
It's the accent. It gives it away.
I know. Well, I thought you could tell because I mean, it's like that. You know, to me, it's obvious. They completely different accent. He looks different.
Yeah.
Everything. Yeah.
Slightly different skin complexion.
Exactly. He has longer
hair. You
hair.
never see them together, do you?
He has longer hair than I do. I mean, it's just
has his own entry on the Stadia Source website as well.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. That proves that's like proof of life. That is proof that it's two separate people.
No, it's a fair shout. I've just realised that this is why I don't get asked to do these things very often, because there's actual banners that Dan, I think, came in earlier and did. Look, it's got all the stuff that I've been saying, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this. It's got,
Yeah,
look,
maybe
got
I
guest.
need to click them for you.
Yeah, I need a producer. I can't be doing the clever stuff and press the buttons, Dan.
Okay, I'll do that. You already bailed me out by hosting, so that's the least I can do.
I don't mind. It's good. It's an absolute privilege, as they say in Ceausescu. So listen, the next thing on the list here is, because we've done the intros, you had your chance. If you didn't say anything about yourselves, it's your own problem. So we're moving on now to the... what's on your playlist, it says here. What's that mean then? What's on your playlist, Aaron?
Spotify. Well, no, I don't use Spotify. I use YouTube Music. So, but we don't want to talk about the music stuff. I'm just gaming all over the place. I literally right before this started, I was actually trying to do The Sims 4, and I know that's shocking because that is not a game that anybody would associate with me. And I couldn't get it to work, so I just went to what everyone expected was, and I jumped on Grand Theft Auto 5 online. And
They're very similar games, though, aren't they?
Yeah, totally. I mean, you create a character. You both create characters. The only difference is in GTA, I didn't really accomplish much, but driving over a few people on the sidewalk.
Standard GTA session.
There's nothing else to do in that game, is that's what it's designed for?
I just ran over a few people, and then I went into an arcade and played an old game. So it was fun.
Was it Sims?
No,
unfortunately, that would have been ironic, wouldn't it? That would have been more than ironic. Clive, what's been on your playlist this week?
I was playing Judgment again this week, actually. Played a bit the old Village, but mostly I played Judgment, and I love the way in Judgment there's games within games. Like literally go to the arcade, Sega arcade, but. In the last bit I played, he goes to like a VR place and plays a VR game, and you have to then it takes you into this VR game, and then you have to play this game to win prizes. It's just
wow.
I just love that whole concept. And I'm really getting into the story as well. It's like a proper well written drama. I'm thinking, oh my God, and there's twists and turns, and I'm thinking, I knew it, and that kind of stuff. Great. Love it. I'm so looking forward to Lost Judgment, because you'll know that is built specifically for the current generation. This was built for an older generation, but then graphically enhanced. But there's still a difference between things built specifically for the limitations of an older, generation of console, that even if you enhance all the graphics, there's still something about it not quite right, because they may have cut back on some corners, on some other aspects, not the graphics. But when it's built specifically for a platform, then you're going to get a good experience, and it's a great experience already. So yeah, I'm looking forward to Lost Judgment when that comes out.
You've been playing Village as well, so would you say you're preferring Judgment to Village?
They're different things. I'm getting different. There's something sadistic about playing masochistic
in the Village, is there?
Yeah, so masochistic playing the Village, like going on a ghost train or a roller coaster. You're going to hate it while you're doing it, but when you've done it, you're thinking, oh, that was amazing. So I'm kind of really enjoying the both. I wouldn't, they're very different experiences.
Oh, that's awesome. Dan, what have you been doing with the old console this week?
Almost exclusively Resident Evil Village. I know I had a little bit of a rant about it on Twitter about Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3 forever, and anything after that was like, yeah. But I decided to give it a try, maybe because of the free Premier Edition that came with it. That might have had a bit of a swaying factor in it.
That's Christmas sorted?
Yeah. I've got like one for each of my nephews, like. And I'm going to be able to open my own Google store at this rate.
I know what you mean.
But no, actually, surprisingly, I'm enjoying it more than I thought I would. I still hold my belief that the first three will forever remain my favorite Resident Evil games. But if I just kind of fool myself into thinking that it's not a Resident Evil game, that it's just any old horror game with the Resident Evil name slapped onto it, I actually quite enjoy it. There's a few things that have made me like I don't want to put any spoilers out there for people, but there's a few things that happen in it that make you think, yeah, right, that would never happen. But I'm sure as I continue to play through it,
sort of self-healing amputations, that kind of thing. Is that what you're thinking about?
Probably, yeah.
Right, you haven't got a problem with a giant woman, like that,
who would?
Or women that turn from a bunch of flies into human. That's all normal, right?
That's like my day-to-day. That is.
Yeah.
Happens every day down Tesco's.
Yeah,
I know.
Is that a swarm of flies? Oh no, it's Janine from round the corner.
Yeah, that's it. No flies on Janine.
It's just the missus showing up.
If you shut the window, she can't get in. So it's
Exactly. Or she just keeps headbutting the window.
I think she was a software engineer at Capcom because she's covered in bugs. Hey, right then, now
He's here all night, folks.
I'll be here all night, ladies and gentlemen. All night, yeah. If you've enjoyed me, I've been me. If not, I've
just
been.
Need a bit of fly spray for that. For those three systems.
Exactly, yeah. A bit of what do they call it? Prony.
I'd probably say I'm a few hours into the game now. I've got quite a way to go. Just got the sniper rifle, which I'm yet to use, but I haven't really played anything else other than that at the moment. I did want to kind of jump into Destiny because they've got the new season of the Splicers, which I think we might be talking a little bit about.
Well, we were going to talk about Resident Evil, but we've sort of written that one off now, so we can fill it with something.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, have you been playing it, Rob?
I'm nearly finished, actually. Yeah, no, I've almost finished it. From what I understand, talking to other people that have completed it, I'm very, very near the end. I should do it tomorrow. I would have thought. I'm loving it. I genuinely haven't had a jump out of it yet, and I'd swear to God that's the case. But
you must have had a bit like some shock, like some. Oh my God! What the?
Well, I was thinking about this, Clive, and the truth is, I did. Around Death Stranding, I found quite tense.
Yeah.
You know, where you've got to kind of work your way slowly through the environment. All these things, if you touch them, then you've had it. And then you get dragged off into this underworld and stuff. And even Metro Exodus, which I know you're a big fan of. I found some of the stuff in that was quite, whoa, didn't expect that to happen. But I've not had it with Resident Evil. But I love it. I've loved the puzzle aspect. That's the bit that I've really, really enjoyed. So, you know, it's horses for courses. And for those of you, I don't want to spoil it for people. It definitely has jumps if that's, you know, if you're sort of easily prone to that. It just hasn't happened for me. But I've loved the game. I've loved every minute of it. You jump. I've watched you. Blimey, you were 2 minutes in and you turned it off and went to play The Sims.
That's alive.
Yeah, I know, right?
Nope.
Anyway, let's build a house.
I think that's what's kind of ruined it for me is that, like, I know we had a discussion about it on Twitter, Rock, as well, about I've kind of just grown up around horror games and these type of genres, and you know when someone's going to jump out and scare you, and it almost makes me sad because I wish I could play a game like this and actually be scared. I know it sounds like I'm trying to come off as like big and strong and nothing. I ain't afraid of nothing, but it's not that at all. I can just sense when something's going to jump out, and then when it does, I'm like, oh, okay. Or the fake scares where they make you think something's going to jump out, and then it doesn't, and then it does, and but
it's good. No, it's really good, and it's quite interesting because you also, I found, you start to think, you get your mind into how the developers have coded the puzzles as well. So there's, again, no spoilers. There's a puzzle that I know John, who does the Rock Review with Aaron and I in the week, he was saying how frustrated he was because he came across this puzzle and it was only purely by chance that he was able to solve it. But when I got to it, I noticed something about this that actually gave you all the clue that you needed. And I think that's the thing. Once you've figured out the mindset of the guys that developed and designed the game, you do find it that bit easier to work your way through because the puzzles are pretty much, the mechanics are very similar.
There's usually text around it, sort of in the form of a poem or a scripture, and you go, okay, I think he's trying to tell me something.
And that could be my other issue is the key word with the being puzzle is another reason I don't like those games. I am not a fan of puzzle games. I just can't do those things. I don't know what it is. I just do not. A straight puzzle game I do. Those are okay. But when you're mixing two different things. You're mixing a horror game and you're adding in puzzles to make you have to actually think stuff through. I don't like that. I could handle if it was just a straight horror game. I could probably be fine with it. I'd still jump and scream like a girl, and I won't play. The other issue with this game is it has those creepy dolls, and I can't do that either.
So you're not up for Resident Evil Sudoku then? The next version,
That's the next one coming. That's going to be the free to play.
Everything's got to be done in nines.
Yeah, it's puzzling under stress. That doesn't help.
Yes,
it's like oh my god, quick. Yeah,
because you have to like hurry to think something out, or you're dead. And it's like there's too much pressure. I can't do it.
There's definitely some of that. No, I think it's a great game. It looks like I saw somebody today, I think it was Peter Cottontail on Twitter, done it in about 8 hours.
I've seen that, yeah.
John Scar did it in about 13. I think I'm actually going to take longer because I realised I spent an inordinate amount of time on a really, really simple puzzle. I'm so annoyed with myself. And yet other stuff that I know other people have struggled with, I've got straight through. But who cares? It's not about the speed, is it, guys? Not about the speed.
A lot of Resident Evil games, if you know what you're doing, you can cut them down to like 3 hours. I think Resident Evil 3 remake, I could do it in like an hour and a half or something like that. If you go in after, I don't think it applies to this Resident Evil, but if you go in after things like the infinite weapons and like the infinite ammo weapons, then you have to kind of get your speed down to a T. But I'm sure if you play through it enough times, you start to remember what the puzzles are and where to go and what to do. Yeah. But I think in terms of how this game plays on Stadia, it's been absolutely flawless for me. Again, I've been playing it on a wireless connection as well because we've put our TV on the wall in the living room. Mm-hmm. Normally, I would play Stadia at my computer here, and it's a wired connection. But I've been playing in the other room, which is not. It's obviously one room away from the router, and I've had absolute zero hiccups whatsoever. I couldn't even if I didn't know I was playing on Stadia, then I would have assumed there was a console underneath. So it runs up.
Well, and that's. Yeah, and that's the one thing I like. I appreciate it because it does. I've watched enough people playing it, and it looks. Like I said, I won't play it, but it looks outstanding, and I don't think I've ever seen anybody run into any real issues with it. Mm-hmm. The only complaints are usually, the minor stuff. They can't figure something out, or and it deals with the puzzles. But that's an individual. That's not the game. Yeah, that's a user error.
Very good.
Well, They did the right thing, doubling down on it, that it's a good advert for Stadia. A day-on-day launch of a AAA game and a really good version that showcases the game. It showcases the Stadia platform in the same way that Cyberpunk did through... it did look really good on Stadia, but also by the unfortunate fact that it didn't look very good on on your old gen consoles and stuff like that. But they've obviously really made sure the games that are looking I don't know what comes first, the chicken or the egg here. Like, is this Stadia going, this is going to be massive, looks fantastic, right? Let's do a massive promo on it, or let's work on it so it looks fantastic because we then want to do a massive promo on it. You know what I mean? Or a bit of both.
Yeah.
Or is it, well, we've spent an inordinate amount of cash bringing it to the platform, let's do a massive promo on it, which I think is as likely.
Yeah. Just fingers crossed that it works well.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, because of course Outriders and Cyberpunk, they were lucky with Cyberpunk, but Outriders, they caught a little bit of a cold with, completely outside of their control, sadly.
Yeah.
But this has been
I'm saying they didn't do a promo. That's what I was thinking specifically about the promo.
That's
Cyberpunk
giving
was
away
a great
the controller.
Stadia, and Village is a fantastic advert for Stadia. If you've never played it before, you get the best way to play it as well, which arguably is through the Chromecast Ultra with a Stadia controller. Your experience should, hopefully it should pay off for Stadia because people are going, oh wow, this is actually amazing. as you said, where's the box sort of thing, That's the experience you'll have.
I actually saw that the best way to play the Resident Evil Village is on the PlayStation 1. Did anybody see that? No. Someone's made a Resident Evil demake.
Really?
So it's like using PlayStation 1 graphics. And it actually looks scarier on the PlayStation 1 than it does.
Like a Lara, like the original Lara Croft kind of.
Yeah. Just imagine some of the dimensions and some of the pixels.
Yeah.
Good old polygons.
Yeah.
I put a short up. I put a short up on YouTube today, which basically said that it's actually the best game to get your baby to sleep. I found a lovely little ticking clock in a house, and I had to do some work on the laptop, so I just left the ticking clock going. I thought, this is really soothing. So I took a video and said,
don't look at the screen.
Yeah,
I was listening to it while I was waiting for you.
Look at the screen, just listen to the clock. Right, moving on to the next one.
So quickly, on talking of babies and Village, you see, like Digital Foundry, they rated Village because it had the best rendition of a baby or the best creation of a digital baby they've ever seen in a game.
Wow.
Which is kind of a bit of a random thought. I was watching a Digital Foundry video and they were going, it is the best version of a baby we've ever seen in a video game.
Yeah, but which version
that many babies in video games?
Yeah. It's interesting because I bought it on PC because I wanted to pay a little bit less for it, basically. But I tell you what, I rue the day. Because it took me 2 days to get it set up, and every single day, I'd like
pay less, did you?
I've got to tweak a few more settings to get it to work again. Fire it up, and off I go. I wish I bought it on Stadia. I really do.
So, what did you do to make it work?
Well, no, I mean, I took it down to 1080p, and it's been a lovely experience.
What have you done to make sure you have a good experience?
Oh, I play it on Moonlight, cloud stream it to my TV.
You spent $2,000 on
no, Clive. Talking out of shop here, mate.
I heard this story already, Clive.
Yeah.
I've already heard. I know where you were going with it. I was hoping he was going to say it.
Anyway, look, Street Power Football. The wife's watching. Let's have a quick look at this game then. This looks good, don't it? Street Power Football, which was late this week. Well, it wasn't. It was on time. This week on Stadia was late though, as we sat there and waited for it. But it did come along. Now, this is a street football game, which allows Clive to talk about football. Clive, have you bought this puppy?
No, I haven't. This looks like a game I'd love to enjoy on Pro.
See, I said the same thing. When I saw the price of it, and I watched somebody playing it, I just was like, I would buy it, but I'm going to wait because I can see that this goes right to Pro. I could see this be a Pro game at some point.
And that's fine. Like, I don't have an issue with, like, if you're going to wait for it to go to Pro, it means you don't really want it. Do you know what I mean? If you really want it, you'll buy it.
Oh yeah, no,
if you're like, I'll give it a go. I'll give it a go. Then you wait for Pro.
How much is
like
it?
20 odd quid to us. So it's like 20. It's
well in the old Pro.
It's above the 20 quid mark. So it's no, I'm not that desperate for it. I've got FIFA. I can play.
It does look good. It's 1080 60, I believe. But who's counting the pixels? Hey,
Adam.
Apart from Adam, thanks for doing that, my friend. Well, I discovered that even the village looks good in 1080, so I don't care anymore what they look like. But yeah, it's a multiplayer kind of co-op. There's all sorts. We found this on Tuesday, didn't we, Aaron? There's all sorts of ways to play this game.
Yeah, it's pretty. Like Jem did a video of it. And it looks like it'd be a lot of fun with your mates and stuff.
There's a handsome fellow in that game. Look.
Yeah. He's one of the characters you can select. Yeah.
Is he?
I heard he was a DLC you had to get, though.
Yeah.
You had to pay extra for that character.
Loot box if you're lucky.
Yeah.
So the answer to that one is...
God damn, can't believe it. I've just spent 5,000 on loot boxes and finally I got a Dan.
God damn, I'm not completed the set. This game, I have some of the feedback, this is only just launched, some of the feedback on 100 Days, which, as we said, just launched on Stadia, has been absolutely amazing. And I'm not joking. I've seen people literally say this is the best game they've played on Stadia. You've seen the same comments, Dan, haven't you?
I have, but I genuinely thought they were just like being
I think they were being truthful.
It's the same way that everybody says like Farming Simulator is the best game, but
I tried Farming. I tried that. I couldn't get into Farming Simulator. I could. This looks like I want to try this. I want to give this a try.
Genuinely, they said it's really good fun.
I want to now. Yeah, you've said that they're not being sarcastic.
It's a small dev team as well, bless them, and I think they've put a lot of effort into it. Broken Arms Games. It does actually look pretty good. Now, look, it depends if you're into simulators. And I know a lot of people love things like Farming Simulator, cookery simulators, that kind of stuff. Build your own empires. But they've said that the first few hours of playing this game, they genuinely felt it was one of the best games they've played on the platform.
They were drinking a bottle of wine at the time.
They were doing, it was a drinking game to go with it.
Do you think this would be a good one to on phones to play versus computer Chromecast?
Probably something. Do
you think something like this would be a good one?
Like you could do some bits on your PC, and then when you're out and about, you go, I've got I don't know, tend my crop or whatever you do, go to the vineyard or I've got to squash some grapes or whatever you got to do.
Oh, I could crush a grape.
All that, So there's sort of things you could do on a phone, I guess, that makes it kind of allows you to get really involved in the game. For those people that like, those sort of simulation type games.
Yeah. Apparently, Digital Foundry have said it's the best representation of a grape in any game that they've ever
Yeah.
So, when they show that image of the grape, I have to go.
It's very realistic.
I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to start looking at the store and be like, these are not what I saw in this game. I can't buy this.
Yeah, you definitely will never be able to go back to real grapes.
Nope.
Maybe I wonder if the game is like when you first sort of try it, you're going, I'm not sure about this, but once you've had a few goes at it, you're going, this is quite good actually.
It just kind of grows on you.
Yeah, you know what I mean? How like with wine, it's like the first glass is always a bit, I'm not sure I wanted this wine. And then by the sort of sixth glass, you're going, we'll have another 2 bottles on this table, please. Another 2 bottles.
I haven't had a glass of wine in years. It used to give me really itchy fingers. I couldn't be doing with all that dodgy stuff from Tesco.
Maybe your wife swapped it for the window cleaner. That's why.
Maybe she swapped me for the window cleaner. Should have happened.
Are you on the inside of the house or on the outside of the house?
Wash it. That's it. Wipe on, wipe off.
Wipe on, wipe off. Yeah.
Wipe on, wipe off. Wrath of the Druids, Valhalla. Latest Valhalla expansion is live now. I was saying, I don't know if you've seen this, Clive, on Netflix. There's a great show called The Last Kingdom.
It used to be a BBC. It was originally a BBC commission.
And please tell me you were involved in that commission.
No, because it's drama.
Oh, of course, you only do the hippie stuff, do you?
No, I
thought I was leaning more towards comedy myself. But
he does do comedy. He does.
I knew I saw him from somewhere. I thought it was. I'm thinking Monty Python.
No, Clive used to do the City Show in the UK, but people you wouldn't know about.
I was sweet.
Yeah, he was Matthew.
Get back in the box. I'm gonna get back in the box. Get back in the box. I'm gonna get back in the box. Really? You like the wine simulator?
He loves it.
Some more later.
He loves a bit of wine. No, Clive was in fact an old cartoon character many years ago on the BBC. In a show called The Magic Roundabout. It was a good show. Anyway, meanwhile, back in the real world, yes, Wrath of the Druids. Have you guys? I mean, I love Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I really do. And I'm actually, it's the next thing I'm going to jump on when I've finished, hopefully tomorrow, Village. Because I've been playing The Last Kingdom, which was, you're right, Clive, was where we went down our little rabbit hole there. Used to be a BBC back in 2015, I believe, was when it first came out. But it's now on Netflix, all 4 seasons, a 5th season on the way. Co-production with our American cousins, I do believe. great show, but very much like this. It's kind of based on reality. But there's anyway, this new extension, it has druids in it, and they've got a bit of wrath, apparently.
Is there some sort of Irish element to it? Yeah, the High King of Ireland, Flan Siena. I hope I said that, or Siena. Yeah.
Ivor the Engine. He's there.
Not Ivor then, it's Welsh.
Yeah, that story starts as Ivor is
Ivor
summoned
the
to
Engine.
Ireland.
Hello.
I've come for a druid, like.
That
was by far the worst.
We're just gone
I
down.
don't know what's going on. I'm just going to sit. I'm going to sit in my library and look up grab a book to figure out what's going on.
TV programs from our youth.
Alex is turning in his grave. Bless him. I'm sorry, Alex. That was the worst Welsh accent I've ever done, and I'm sorry that you were inflicted with it. It will never happen again. Yeah.
The only way you can redeem yourself now is to say that really, really long place name.
Oh, Aberystwyth.
No, I can't
Cardiff.
even say it.
Cardiff. If you put them both together, they're quite long. It's a long trip. Guys, you played Valhalla. You've been looking forward to the wrath of the druids.
I need to put more time in the game. I played it when it first came out, and then I just haven't. I've been all over the place with everything else. I need to put some more time into it.
I love it. Clive, you've not done any of the old Valhalla ring, have you?
No, I was because
It's got sheep in it.
I'm forever what, and that's meant to encourage me to jump in. What are you
I'm
saying?
just saying. I've just spotted the
Welsh. Now, I'm waiting for Ubisoft.
It is Ubisoft, yes. It is
No, I'm
Ubisoft.
waiting.
Ubisoft
That's what I'm
Plus.
waiting for Ubisoft Plus.
Oh, to come to Stadia.
Still waiting. You know, I was
I know.
hoping this, when this launched.
What's that going on about? Dan, have you you're not really into Valhalla, have you? I've not heard you mention it.
I've never played an Assassin's Creed game in my life.
No.
And it's something that I regret because I know that these games are highly revered. My brother is actually a massive fan of Assassin's Creed, so it's strange that I've never played one when he's such a big fan, and obviously we grew up together. But yeah, I think like Clive said, as soon as Ubisoft Plus comes out, I might give one a go, and then if I enjoy it, then I might go back and play some of the other games. But I don't want to waste my own money on this only to find out that I actually don't like it.
No, that's fair.
Sense, so.
Although having said that,
Makes sense.
they're quite cheap on Stadia at the moment, aren't they?
I think I picked up the
back
Assassin's
catalogue.
Odyssey ages ago when it was super cheap. It was
I'm not one to comment on having the Ubisoft Plus and then buying the games because I have a tendency to buy them even though I have them already because they are on sale, and I'm just like I don't know what happened. Google just told me to buy it, so I did because Ubisoft put a massive sale, and I bought everything. And then people are like, "Why do you keep buying them if you already have them with Ubisoft Plus?" I'm like, "It's on sale. That's all I can say. I'm Stadia Vet."
It's on sale now, isn't it?
It's just easier to say that.
It's my job. I'm the vet.
Yeah, I'm a vet. Yeah, but I'm with Dan. Assassin's Creed was one of those games my brother was really into it when all the way back to the original, and I thought it was dumb, and I never gave it a chance. And I tried it out on the third with Assassin's Creed 3, and the history nerd in me came out, and I was like, oh, I like these games because the storyline in it and the historical side of it was what got me hooked on the stuff. And I played that one, and 4 was with pirates, so right off the bat I was sold on that one. And then I didn't really do the Origins. I skipped that. Odyssey I had a blast with, and I tried to get into Valhalla, and I guess I just never gave it a strong enough chance. So I might have to put some more time into that one.
That's fair. I think the thing as well, people have sort of said, oh, it's kind of very samey and it's a bit boring. But actually, you can go off into kind of the mythology of the Danes as well. And there's almost another game that you can play in the kind of mythology of the Vikings, which is pretty cool. And obviously, they are looking at expanding forever, because that's got to be the future for it as a game as a service solution. So no, but you're right, Clive's. Dan, sorry, you're on the. Well, both of you're both on the money. I think until Ubisoft Plus comes out on Stadia, if that's your bag, I actually play it on GFN. In fairness, that's where I've not bought any of these games. It pays me $12 a month, and I play it on GeForce Now, and it plays very, very well. That's where I'll be playing it again, hopefully tomorrow once I've finished Village off. But yeah, very good. And if you've not done an Assassin's Creed yet, I would definitely start with Origins. I think that's the Egyptian one. That is an amazing start.
Yeah, I will say it is, because the style is very similar with where they went. They took Odyssey and Valhalla versus some of the older ones that they added to Stadia. Those, I mean, the gameplay, you can tell by playing some of those older ones, and then you go to like Origins, and you're like, you can already like I started with Odyssey and Origins. I played, and it was similar style. Valhalla was similar. I went to the older ones, and I was already confused with what I was doing with trying to move the characters and figure things out. And yes, I know part of it confusing is pretty easy for me to do. So get used to the game. It doesn't take much.
There's no puzzles in here.
Yeah, there aren't. So it's a lot.
Yeah,
there's a few, but the gameplay style is definitely different when they got to the newer ones with what you can do in the game versus the older ones. So I did appreciate them, though.
No, I agree. I tried Assassins way back, and it never really worked for me. But from Origins onward, I've really enjoyed them. And they sit nice and right in the middle of the sort of stuff that I like. And interestingly enough, also on Stadia Source, your number one source for all things Stadia, there's another article that is that Ubisoft Sales for Assassin's Creed games, Crew 2, Trials Rising, etc., for the 12th of May. So as of yesterday, there's been a big old price drop on a lot of these. So if you haven't, there you go, £13.74 for Pro Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I mean, what's that? 4 pints of the Weatherspoons. Very good.
Yeah.
And that's the Ultimate Edition, so that's a really good deal.
No, that's the Ultimate Edition is 22. Yeah, it is on sale.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. The sale prices compared to what the regular is.
Crikey,
I mean, that's right. I saw the line there, and I'm like, oh, that is a really good deal.
Yeah, it's a good deal.
And when they do their sales, they know how to put stuff on sale.
Yeah,
I've always appreciated when they put a sale on and what the difference of it. Like they were like, hey, this is a sale, and you're going to buy this because of that.
I suppose if you think about it from Ubisoft's perspective, so ever since they brought out Ubisoft Connect, they keep a record of your saves and stuff. So if you're playing Valhalla and you've bought the game, and then you see all these new expansions and season passes and stuff, and you think, you know what, I might as well pay £12 actually and pay for Ubisoft Plus. Well, you can continue playing even though you bought the game because all that stuff's been recorded. So it's in their interest to sell you this. This is have a quick fix, have a little taste of my goods. Go on.
Do you think? I was gonna say. Do you think the sale has could also because they go on? They have sales all the time. I've never seen another game company, developer, whatever, putting so many games on sale. Do you think that could be just because they don't have Ubisoft Plus in other areas yet, and this is a way to compensate until they can get it rolled out to like the UK and other places that it's not available?
Yeah, it's a bit like drug dealer. Give you a taste.
That's it. That was
you have that one last. No, mate. Don't give me any money. Don't give me any money
just
here,
have
mate.
You have a taste around your teeth.
And you tell me if you enjoy that experience.
I think
somebody told me that once.
Yeah, of course they did. Well, I'm sure you were researching a show that you've recently commissioned. I know these things happen. Yeah, I think there's a bit of that. I think you're probably right as well, Aaron, in the sense that that is where their model's going, and they've restated it this week. Of course, they actually brought out. I think there was an interview somewhere where they said, "Yeah, look, you know what? The idea is that we're really looking to have these games go on forever." I came up with the idea of never-ending gobstopper games. So, really, for them, selling the initial big game for zero or as close to darn it is a value to get you into the ecosystem, and then they can start charging you on a monthly basis once you realize that it's a cheaper option. So I think there's a bit of that going on. I don't know when they're going to come. Who knows? I've given up speculating. I used to say every month, it's going to be this month. Look at the prices they've dropped down to.
That's what they're doing. I mean, we could speculate on when games. I've given up listening to, when they say, hey, this game's been rated for Stadia. And I'm just like, I've heard that before.
Yeah, of course.
Just like, when it shows up, I will be happy. Like, it's much easier to not get my expectations set at a certain level when a game gets rated versus just waiting for it to show up. And then I'm like, oh, yay.
You can't. I don't think you can really second guess, can you? But yeah, Valhalla. Yeah. I mean, this is only 6 months old. This game, and still, it's almost 40 to 50% off here, which is amazing. And it really is a great game. I personally think it's a great game. But so there you go. Fill your boots with all of Assassin's, all of the Ubisoft's goods to be tested and tasted.
We've got Trials. We've got Trials Rising. We've got The Crew 2 as well. So I can personally vouch for those games. I have played those games. Trials Rising is an absolute ton of fun, especially when you're playing it with friends. We did Original Penguin did a stream with a few people in from the Stadia community, and we were just laughing the entire way through some of the rules that you can put on to make it a little bit more interesting. So it's not just a motorbike game. It was probably one of the funniest games I've ever played on Stadia, to be fair. But the secret ingredient there, Dan, is playing with other people, isn't it? That's the key. It genuinely doesn't matter too much. We Clive and I played with Ray and Lee last week on Trine, and we'd all played it independently and enjoyed the game. But it brings it to a whole other level when there's a bunch of you in there, just falling about, laughing, crying with laughter, having fun. That's the stuff.
Oh yeah. Multiplayer games in general, it adds. I think that just having multiplayer in a game adds the value of it, because it makes it so much more entertaining.
No, you're absolutely right. We're going to skip. We've got a little item here somewhere about Destiny 2. We're going to skip that for a second. We'll come back to that because we'll cover it off a bit later. But that is partially what we're saying here, and we'll explain why when we get there. Next up in the news.
Oh, Lord.
Please.
Game of the year.
Oh my
Blaze
God.
and the Monster Machines. What's wrong with this?
Nothing. So that's 2 games I'm already going to have to buy now. This and Paw Patrol, and I've already been told that people are expecting me to live stream both of these.
Yes.
I did the SpongeBob as soon as I bought it. Yeah, I did SpongeBob, and he loved it. So now I'm going to end up having to do Blaze and Paw Patrol as well, and somehow make it entertaining.
This is a Nickelodeon show. I'm not familiar with this. I guess you've got to be.
I'm all over watching. I've watched so much Nickelodeon stuff with him. That's why I do content. That's why I stream. That's why I don't. Otherwise, I hide in the library here.
Just go and watch Nick. So this has been rated. I think we found this out today, Dan, didn't we?
This was.
Didn't even. Yeah, I would not have known about this. So,
so it's been rated for.
That's why I rely on Stadia source, because otherwise I wouldn't know until it shows up or someone's talking about it. And I'm like, what?
Exactly.
Well, it was actually Jem that found this.
It was our good friend Jem that found it. I was just about to mention that.
Good old Jem.
I know.
What a gem!
Jem is a massive fan of Blaze and the Monster Machines. Is that what it is? He's got a lunchbox and everything. Yeah.
So I hear.
What a gem he is.
He certainly is. He's a little diamond. I know nothing about Blaze and the Monster Machines. Obviously, Aaron, you are an expert. What do you think we can expect?
I don't know anything about. I have no idea anything about the game. I mean, I've watched the show with my son, and it teaches. It's a lot of educational stuff. They do puzzles and whatnot within the game where you're learning stuff. So I'm going to assume that.
Yeah, I was bringing the expert on up.
Yeah, he's bringing an expert.
We should have got him on instead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't know much about it, so I'm going to assume it's going to be very similar to the TV series. I guess I don't know unless there's information. So that's about all you're going to.
I was trying to zoom in because as you were talking, I noticed just here, I don't know if you can see this on screen. Sorry if you're looking on your phone. But in German, it actually says something like, this automobile game, discovered by Gem. Look, it says it there. Gem on the Force. Discovered by Gem on the 14th of June or something, it says. Oh, my German is expert. So there you go. That's just an extra credit for the man. We knows that he found it.
I think
anyway, that's coming up.
a lot of people they might sneer at some of these games, but gaming's for everybody. And
absolutely,
I've got 2 young nephews under the age of 8, and games like this when they come and spend some time with Uncle Dan, as I'm known.
Oh, bless! So good they named him twice.
Yep. They would just love to boot these games up. I mean, my eldest nephew's a big fan of Monster Truck, so he's been playing the I can't remember the exact name of it now, but there's a Monster Truck game on Stadia, and he absolutely loves that game. This might be a little bit under his age, but it's just nice to have them round, give them a Stadia controller, and just let them loose on games like this. It keeps them. I've
seen people tweet out or on Facebook saying, hey, does anybody know any good games for kids on Stadia? You know what I mean? So it's that's the thing about it's a casual game, which means it's also for people might have busy lives and kids, and go, there you are.
You can just give them your phone as well. You can play on phone, and if you've got one of those game sirs or something, or the Razer Keyshis, just hand them the phone and that's it.
Well, or you've got I've got a Lenovo Chromebook Duet, so it has the keyboard, but you take it off, it's just a tablet, but it's Chrome OS, so I can pull Stadia just as easily. But I will say with this one, it's nice that they're continuing to add those family games or the kid games. That's one thing I'm really liking that they're doing is you've got I would say Monster Truck. Those Monster Truck games are a great family game. Whenever the SpongeBob family game, Paw Patrol, and then you add this one. It's nice that they're building out the library for the different genres, and they're continuing to keep that kids genre going, or the family friendly ones, which is nice to see.
But it's not Call of Duty.
Or Fortnite,
says the 8-year-old.
I don't want plays. I want Fortnite and I want Fortnite and all my DLCs that I can get and my skins.
Absolutely.
Hello, little Johnny. I bought you plays in the monster machines. Bro, Dad, I wanted Call of Duty. In it. Where's my Call of Duty in it, Dad? Bro.
Yeah. Of course it is. Big thank you to Marcus. Thank you, Marcus, for your
Paw Patrol
super chat sticker, whatever they're called.
Now they're Rich
Paw Patrol. Little play on words.
Rich Patrol.
That's very kind of you. Thank you. And then finally, in our scheduled news, a possibility of the Division Heartland coming to Stadia. Now, this is Ubisoft announced this week that this would be a deviation in the Division story, an additional part of the IP, and it's going to be, I think I'm right in saying, Dan, you can fill me in on this, a kind of a free-to-play multiplayer experience that will live alongside the Division as we know it, and there are some big hints that it's coming to Stadia.
Absolutely. I mean, you summed it up in terms of what it's going to be, but it was never actually confirmed as coming to Stadia. And we, the Stadia community, do what we do best, and we dig and we find things that sometimes might not be ready to be made public yet, but if it's there, we're going to find it. So
pigs with truffles, I say.
Yeah, I mean, we recently found evidence that Super Animal Royale was coming to Stadia, and then they retracted it, and then they said, actually, yes, it is coming. So, I mean, given
you guys off the trail,
Stadia, given Ubisoft support of Stadia thus far, I don't see a reason why this wouldn't be coming to Stadia,
especially because Division 2 itself is on there. It's not as though it's like Hyperscape or whatever. Which is a brand new game. I mean, this is a brand new game. It's a spin-off, but it's a spin-off of a series that's actually already well established on Stadia. And as you say, nearly every other game that Ubisoft does new game comes on Stadia, so it's more than likely going to be on Stadia.
Yeah, I mean that's how I took this, was the fact that it's based on the same premises as it's a direct spin-off of The Division 2. The Division 2 is obviously a very successful game on Stadia. Ubisoft, we all know, loves Stadia and is very supportive of Stadia. So it would not surprise me, and I'm going to take a guess that the possible confirmation is just like Dan said, it's the community is based on all of the bits and pieces. If you take all of these different pieces to the puzzle and you put it together, it kind of veers that's the direction that it's going to end up.
Yeah. And I think as well, what is obvious is the model that Ubisoft are looking to adopt, which is essentially they will be like a cleaner fish on a shark. They will find these big places where they can ply their wares, and so it's important for them that if they're going to have Ubisoft Plus on Stadia, or they're going to have it on GeForce Now, or as rumors abound on potentially Xbox as well, that they have to keep them all stocked with the big titles. Otherwise, the platforms are going to get upset because no one's subscribing via their platform, which is obviously the way that they can hopefully interest them in buying other games and other bits and pieces. That's why else would they do it? So I think it's fair to assume that if a title is announced from now on in, anywhere that has Ubisoft Plus has a strong likelihood that it's going to show up there as well. Clive, would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's part of their. I was going to say I was looking to adopt a model as well, but that's a different thing. But
okay,
never lively bride in Eastern Russia.
But yeah, no, I mean Ubisoft have a very strong multi-platform approach, don't they? They want it to be on Luna, and their cloud support. They want it to be on Luna. They want it to be on Stadia. They want so yeah. I'd be surprised if it's not on Stadia. That's.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
And it's great, and clearly it's great as well to see that they are still developing stuff that we didn't know about behind the scenes. It's not just the big titles that we are aware of, Far Cry.
Yeah, they got Uno.
Yeah, 50 years going strong, mate.
I want to know more about that though. And I haven't been able to find anything. Is this a new game, or is it just a pack, or is it going to be, are we going to have characters that are really old and or something? I don't know. I want more information.
What are you saying? 50 is not old, Clive. Tell him.
I walked myself right into that one, didn't I?
It seems like a new game, but I can see it being an expansion. Just
the numbers are bigger, so that I can read the numbers on the cards. It's the 50-year anniversary one, and it's slightly slower.
All of those things, absolutely, 100%.
And instead of Uno, you just mumble something that is.
Old Maid. They should bring Old Maid to Stadia.
I'm surprised.
Tuesday, dear.
See, I was always skeptical about playing Uno because. Actually, before you go to that, Rock, there's something else I want to discuss, which I've completely forgot to add to this week's show notes. So,
oh no!
But, before we get to that, I was always put off by playing because of the Xbox 360 version, which had the webcam support. That scarred me for life.
Oh my god!
Thank God there is no webcam support for Stadia.
yes, do tell.
Where your avatar was instead of your gamer pic, it was a picture of your webcam.
Okay.
More often than not, it wasn't a picture of someone's face. So it was...
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
interesting. I wanted to bring up it wasn't until I seen Alex in the chat write about Rainbow Six Siege.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Yeah, completely slipped my
mind. Call,
Alex.
Just that small
that little
announcement.
Game.
Yeah,
minor.
I've been waiting for since the beginning.
It's just a minor. It's just a minor announcement.
Blaze and the mechanics, whatever. Just another. And then in terms of Reddit's most wanted, you got Paw Patrol, Blaze mechanics, and then somewhere down there, Rainbow Six.
That's the least of our concerns. We don't want that. Who wanted that game?
But no, we got a sneak peek into what Ubisoft are up to in the future via their investor call.
And the very near future as well, which is the really exciting thing. By the end of June.
If you click on news, Rock, it'll scroll down.
Eh?
No, scroll down a bit.
So so it's quite exciting
because you'll see it there.
So I mean, literally within the next 6 weeks, maximum.
Well, I mean, we've kind of had a hint that Rainbow Six Siege was coming for a while.
Yeah,
we've I think we've known for months that it might be coming, but it's never been confirmed. So it's good to see it actually being confirmed for Stadia here, and also For Honor as well, which that's quite a good game. I've never played it personally, but I know it's got quite a big following.
I've heard good
it's
things
5
about
years
it.
going. So
I think, as you say, Rainbow Six, we sort of knew about it a bit. Like, actually, it's gonna Heartlands is gonna have the same sort of life. We sort of fairly certain it's going to come to Stadia, but there's no actual confirmation. And Rainbow Six was like, well, we're fairly certain it's coming to Stadia, but there was no confirmation. Now we've got confirmation, and it's not just coming like much further down in the year.
Yeah.
They're saying now, I'm assuming that they're delivering on all the platforms at the same time, but they're saying, by the end of June, effectively.
Yeah.
So, as I say, that's 6 weeks or so.
That's amazing, isn't it?
It's quite exciting, and For Honor was a sort of surprise, I think, in terms of not on many people's radar.
No, I thought it was a game about going to court.
Yeah.
Your Honor.
Your Honor.
you do well in April.
It weren't me, Governor.
Send him down.
See, I mean, or you could. I mean, there were, what was it? Braveheart was another one that you could maybe, For Honor, and it's just a fighting game or something. Because I could see, they're using Mel Gibson to advertise, and it's just instead of, it's just For Honor.
They don't
something
they don't
along.
bring Mel Gibson in for advertising anymore, mate.
I know
He's a
they
bit
don't.
toxic.
That would do well with.
No, I tell you, I saw Mel Gibson in a film recently, which I thought was superb. It was about the guy who wrote the English dictionary. I forget the name of the film now, but he played
There's a movie about a dick.
I know, doesn't it? It sounds awful, doesn't it? It was such a good film.
Was it Mr. Collins?
It was something like that.
No, it was not
Mr. Webster. No, I think it was Webster, and I think it was
Samuel and was it? Yeah.
Honestly, check it out. Check it out, man. It was actually a really good film, and
the one thing I saw on this website, the one thing that I took to shift subjects, since we're shifted to a dictionary movie, what I really liked out of this reading this was that Stadia is listed on the platforms. It's like, look, there's a company that actually acknowledges Stadia as a thing, because you always see everywhere. Stadia's not. That doesn't have a box. I can't. It's not a thing, sir.
I saw I saw a review of Resident Evil Village in the Guardian. Okay, so it's in the UK, a major newspaper in the UK. Therefore, Stadia is available in the UK. So, and then it goes, and at the end it said available on PC, Xbox Series, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Xbox One Series S and X, and PlayStation 5.
No sign of Stadia.
And that was it. Yeah, and it was just like,
Update your
FFS.
database.
Yeah, when I put in the comments, I said just for completeness, ... and Stadia.
Did you sign off? Disgruntled of Wapping.
Tunbridge. It was always Tunbridge Wells.
Tunbridge. Yes. Disgruntled of Tunbridge.
Yeah, sir.
Yes. How dare you leave out Stadia? Listen, don't knock the dictionary movie. It was a darn good film, and I only wish Codex was in the stream because he'd remind me. It was
there's always that great episode of Blackadder.
Oh, I used to love watching
with
that.
Robbie Coltrane, and he's that character, and he's written the dictionary, and then Blackadder accidentally throws it on a fire. Or Baldrick throws it on the fire, and then they've got to recreate it.
Oh man, I remember that show.
Like overnight, they've got to rewrite the dictionary. It's taken this man 40 years of his life to write.
Now listen, I'll tell you who else was in that film. Sean Penn There you go. The Professor and the Madman.
Wait, who's the old guy there?
That's Mel Gibson.
Well, what a dapper-looking young man he is.
I know. It's how I would look if I let my beard go. But there you go. 2019 biographical drama film by Fahad Safinia, P.B. Shemran, from a screenplay, and it's literally about the writing of, let's get to it, the New English Dictionary on Historical Principles, now known as the Oxford English Dictionary. Fascinating because the premise of the film, and I know this has got naff all to do with gaming.
I was going to say, on today's episode of
a lot of you.
Film
That's the last time you'll ever see me here, so I'm going out with a bang.
Spoiler alert, this is the new news series coming to GSN Film Source.
In between Bane and Bant.
Exactly, yes. Between, flange and faucet.
Flange.
Yes. So Sean Penn plays, a true story, Sean Penn plays a guy who's in Broadmoor for killing a civilian. He was an army colonel or something. Turns out, brilliant mind. And Mel Gibson gets the job of writing this new dictionary. And Sean Penn's writing all these words and sending them to him, and they become this amazing partnership. And it's quite sad, actually. Very good film. Anyway, meanwhile...
Anyway, so
go on and watch it.
Bringing out the game, and you can get the DLC. It's got local slang
P to Q
slang dictionary as well. Yeah,
I highly recommend.
I learned a lot on this episode of GSN.
I'm looking for the
learn all kinds of stuff.
Looking for the Cockney rhyming slang season. That'll be coming down near Frog and Toad soon.
You get none of this with Avery, I can assure you. Next week, it'll all be back to normal, folks. No issues there. GeForce Now. Today, is GeForce Now Thursday, when they announced new games. We had an absolute massive amount last week. I think it was 60 odd games. A bit more manageable today. It's getting on for about 15. But some of these are awesome. New day and date, Hood, Outlaws and Legends. Now I know Aaron, you were saying, because you and I are the only ones here that actually have a GeForce Now account. And you were aware of
GFN founder.
Yeah, me too, pal.
I was a founder now, and kind of part of me think now that they've sort of upped the prices and extended the period.
Not if you were a founder.
I feel like no, I stopped.
Oh, did you?
I stopped it before they did all that. Yeah.
I actually stopped, and then I signed up right before they got rid of it, and I was able to lock the day before they got rid of it. I locked in and got the 6 month every 6 months. So I only paid $25 every 6 months for that, and I was like,
It's just nice for me. It's just nice insurance to have it, because I think why not have an expanded cloud universe? Now I've heard good things about Hood. It was fairly new to me over the last few days. Funnily enough, someone told me if you like Titanfall, but imagine it with bow and arrows, then that's kind of what you're in for. Have you seen much about this one, Aaron?
I haven't, but what drew me to it was just the Outlaws. So, and my style of gameplay, that drew me right there. I was like, ooh, Outlaws, huh? Let's dig more into this and try this out.
Well, it's Steam and Epic, and it's relatively reasonably priced as well. It's I think it's about £25 or something.
Well, and that the nice thing about it was that it was on both game stores, and so and I've always loved that about GFN, that even if you have the same game, sometimes they're a different price it can be actually more on Steam versus on Epic, or vice versa. And I'm like, well, if they both work, I'm going to get it wherever it's cheaper. So whoever all right, let the bidding go, because whoever has the lowest price, I'm buying it.
Dutch auction, yeah.
The Dutch auction. Yeah. Right down the bottom of the list, which frightened me somewhat, was when ski lifts go wrong. I'm guessing that's got nothing to do with making wine or driving.
Well, is this when you decide having fed up with making wine, you decide, let's go skiing. Let's start a ski lift.
Let's go for a ski, shall we?
Let's go for a ski. It's all right. I know how to work these things.
Just it's the big button. The big button.
Do you think I should put this belt on? No.
I fell off a ski lift before, so that's
there we go. You see,
maybe that's my version of Resident Evil.
That's what
scare me.
I imagine it's a physics, like a ragdoll physics game. I want it to be a ragdoll physics game.
Well, the only time I ever attempted anything like skiing, and it was not, it wasn't in the wild, was up a pretend ski slope, and I didn't realise that the rope was coming up. So I thought, as I was going down, I thought I'd just grab hold of it, and kind of went the wrong way. Wasn't very clever. Never did it again. Actually, I tell you what, the thing about ski slopes going wrong, here it is, ladies and gentlemen, ski lifts going wrong. You're absolutely right. It's trials in the Alps. There you go. It's literally.
I was just watching that. Yeah.
It looks
There's
like
different
it would
puzzles
be fun.
and like bridge building, engineering.
I guess it goes to show, don't judge your book by its cover, because I literally thought this was just a game where you fall off a ski lift.
See that Dan, that's what I thought. By reading the name, that's what I thought too.
It's like bridge. So it's like Bridge Builder, isn't it?
Yes. It's kind of Bridge Builder meets Trials. I think it looks good fun, actually.
It looks like, something, a good one to wind down or, wind you up, depending on how
good one to
take it.
stream, actually.
I think so. I think this would be a fun one.
Yeah. It's only £15. So what's that, about $19? So it's reasonably priced. And
it's not bad.
Play that on GeForce
Just watch
Now.
the last bit of that video there.
It looks good. Child of Light, Don Pachi Resurrection.
Don Pachi.
Thank you, friend. Ostriv. I don't know. Don. Three Kingdoms and a whole ton of others. So look out for that. It's all good stuff.
Yeah, Steam games. It's a bit like basically they've come out the back stock room with a basket of old games they found, and they put it in the bargain bin. And if you look through, occasionally there's some really good gems, but the rest, it's like literally
Hood's a new one. Hood's day and date.
Yeah, like Hoods, you'll find a few good things. Oh, I've got it. Like, so you'll spend your time going through them, and then occasionally go, oh, this is new, or this is a good one, and a few curiosities. But it's just there was sort of lack of curation, from my point of view.
Yeah, I think at this point in time, it's about building stock, isn't it? They're just literally trying to get in as much content as possible. So it's nice to see, and some of those are really good. I can't knock it. I would certainly be up for when ski lifts go wrong.
Well, there is Bridge Constructor Portal.
Yeah.
So
I think
if you're building stuff, you knock yourself out.
And I noticed that MotoGP 21's in there as well, which we were supposed to get on Stadia, if you ask me, but
it's on Lunar, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's the Lunar's racing game that they have, their main racing game, I think.
So that's a little bit, tiny bit of sour taste, even though I probably wouldn't have bought it anyway. But
all of this, ladies and gentlemen, you can find out more, of course, on GeForce Now, source.com. Excellent.
Can I bring up one other game that's not on the list?
You're not supposed to stop me in the middle of promoting GeForce Now. You're never going to get asked on again, are you?
It's probably not. Everybody's coming back. I'm already getting replaced.
Go for it, my friend.
It's GeForce Now related anyways, but I know it won't. It was announced with all of this stuff this week, but it won't be until May 25th. But I heard of Biomutant, and I had no clue what it was.
Yeah,
I just saw the image, and it was a fox looking. I don't know. It was a fox. He had an eye patch and a sword and a gun. So I was just like, "Ooh, this looks interesting." And I read it, and it's open world action RPG, and I was like, "I don't know Experiment 101. I've heard of THQ, but the image is what sold me on the game. So I don't know if it will. I'll probably buy it regardless. I don't know if it'll be any good.
It is. Funny you mention this, because I have
people raving about it. I think, or looking forward to it.
It actually does look really good. I may as well.
I heard that it comes out on the 25th. So I was like, it's a day release. It's a day release, the same day release for this.
It's THQ Nordic. Of course, they're renowned for classy games. Yeah. It does look.
Yeah, we got a cricket on here. It's
already
looking good. I'm already sold.
You have to look beyond the cutscenes, but what I've seen of gameplay does look exceptional. I suspect this is going to be a big seller. It's a full price, AAA, £55. So what's that, 60 of your American dollars?
But what I liked about it is that it's an open world, and those are the ones that I get drawn to those. I think I have more fun with open world games than I do anything else lately.
Yeah, no, I'm in the same boat, I think. But graphically looks amazing.
Yeah, it looks really good.
It's they've got some really interesting mechanics around the combat as well, which is what we're kind of seeing here now. Although again,
if the gameplay looks like that, see, sometimes I know the trailers let me down because I've watched World of Warcraft trailers, and I'm just like, ooh, that actually looked like when my brother showed me that, I'm just like, ooh, that looks really good. Then he showed me the game, and I'm like, this doesn't look like what I saw. I don't want it. I was like really let down. So I'm hoping that it's similar. And you look at the other images, and it does look on par. But it will definitely be one that I would be very interested in getting to play because I like. I wish that it was. I like the open world thing. That's what sold me on it.
Yeah. No, I mean,
it will sell me on it more than likely.
It does look really good. Of course, you're going to get the PC version on GeForce Now anyway. So I'm not sure if it's ray tracing.
Meg said she wishes it was multiplayer. Yes, that would be another key thing.
I know.
Maybe they add it later. Maybe they add it later. I don't know. I don't know if they're able to do something like that.
Crafting
do it for Cyberpunk and Watch Dogs. They did it.
Yeah.
Unusual story with an unusual end. But that's
they're always winners.
Wins for me. Yeah. No, it's one to look out for. I must admit, it is definitely one to look out for. Right, we are battling against the clock, so we'll quickly have a look at. It's
going to be a longer one than what Avery when Avery's hosting, but I don't mind. I actually don't mind.
It ends because it's Avery's tea time. It's his dinner time, isn't it? So he wants to get off and have his bagels, whereas we can go on all night. We'll have a lock-in. We'll have a lock-in GSN. That's what we'll have.
I know Clive needs to make a joke there. I can see it in his face.
Google says Stadia is alive and well. Now, this is a really good article in gamesindustry.biz, which has been doing the rounds today. A few people have been quoting it. It's a good feel. It's a feel-good story. It's a positive story. It's essentially Games Industry Biz. In any case, has always been quite a good supporter of Stadia, and they do some really interesting, in-depth stuff all around developers. They've written an article which essentially says, look, it's not dead. We've spoken to some developers that are involved with Stadia makers, and we've spoken to the guys that have kind of taken on the next wave, if you like, of the managers in Stadia. And you end up, the premise of the whole article is that you end up feeling fairly positive about it. Clive, I know you've read this one earlier today, haven't you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So just to give context to, you touched on the games industry biz. I mean, it's a trade mag. That's what it is. It's for the games industry. So if you're in the games industry, this is what you read. Like if you're in if you're in the beer industry, what you read whatever the trade rag is for that industry. So it's not like GQ magazine, whatever like that, or The Verge or something like that. It's actually aimed specifically at people in the industry. So I think that's partly why you might perceive there is a sort of, favorable to Stadia. They're not favorable to Stadia. They just don't, they just understand, I think. Yeah, but they understand the games business.
Yeah.
And they understand how Stadia fits into it. So they're not confused, right? And by not being confused, they can report in a kind of conventional, straightforward way. I think the problem that people outside the industry have, they get a bit confused because it does not fit the model I'm used to. But
the one you've just ordered.
Yeah, the model that she's not the right model. But anyway, so that's just to put the context of who's writing this. So it's an industry trade magazine, but it's a really good piece. But the thing is, everything in it is we already know. But what's good about it is it's from the mouth of Google. the mouth of Stadia, and it
And to
answers all
people
those
who
questions.
don't necessarily know like we do as well.
Yeah, you know, and but all the breadcrumbs that I've ever gone about, you know, like in the Stadia Monday Night Chat, quick look. But I've talked about the breadcrumbs. Just look at the breadcrumbs. Look at this. Look at the Stadia Makers stuff. Look at the relationships with AAAs and all that. All of that is just it comes together in this piece. Everything that we said about, you know, the restructuring of, you know, Stadia by closing down SG&E, and, you know, we're all saying, well, you know, some of us were saying, well, that's because they've decided to refocus on developers and publishers side of things and working with developers and publishers. And in this, it says exactly that. Not only that, it says that they pivoted on that in February, which completely underlines everything that I've certainly said and other people have said, that, yeah, this is a refocusing of the business. And then then it's not just the word of Stadia in here. Then it's got some nice quotes from some developers who sort of said how they found working with Stadia and how they see it from their point of view, how Stadia are focusing on building that relationship with developers and publishers to make sure that it's the best tech and developers and publishers can get their game onto that best tech. And equally, the other major point is recognizing that that cloud gaming isn't something that is instantly accepted, and it's going to take time. In the same way that anything, you know, the more something is new, the harder it is to get people to buy into it, and it takes time. And, you know, they're saying, you know, they're openly admitting this takes time, you know, but you just got to keep chipping away at it, and eventually it becomes normalized. And, you know, so it's a very good article. It makes a lot of sense. It's written from an industry point of view. It's written by people who know what they're talking about. It's quotes from Stadia. It's quotes from developers. And it just underlines quite a few people within the Stadia community have sort of been saying, look, everybody, all the breadcrumbs are there. If you choose to look at them with a sort of a decent, educated mind about things.
Like a duck would.
Yeah. Duck to water.
Ducks do like breadcrumbs.
Follow the breadcrumbs.
Did you know that Dov Zimring is now in charge of Stadia, or at least the product team?
Well, I didn't know until this, but that was one of the questions that people were going, oh, John Justice leaving. Well, it depends whether, you know, we're going to replace him or whatever, and who they're going to get in. And I said on the Stadia Monday Night Chat, why necessarily do they need to get somebody in when they could promote from within? Yeah, often. Yeah. People who understand the Google way. I work for a big corporation, and it's a big leap if you come from outside into that organization, because you have to sort of learn the culture and the language almost. It's like a different language. That's what happens when you go from corporations to corporations. If you've sort of grown up within that, you know, that culture, whatever, sometimes you understand the DNA of the company and how it works and how it thinks. Sometimes you need a fresh change, but sometimes you need somebody who knows how things work. And so that role, I mean, they haven't confirmed exactly that it's the VP of product, but they've said specifically that Dov is the guy leading that team now. So, you know, for those going, are they going to replace John Justice? Yes, they have.
Maybe not rolling off the old tongue like John Justice, but
No,
Dov Zimring nonetheless.
I like Dov's the Don.
Yeah,
Dov is the,
I like Dov.
the ring of Zim. No, it's good, and yeah, I mean,
a better ring to it.
It does.
It's something good old JJ.
Yeah, old JJ, and he's going to be leading the team towards our goal. This is the other thing, of course, as well, is that it talks about, you know, again, as you've said, Clive, is re-underlining everything that Phil Harrison said at the beginning of the year, that he'll be leading towards our goal, creating the best possible platform for gamers and technology for our partners. So those two things are seen very much as twin things, as twin objectives. It's not, you know, we're going all out for B2B. What you hear all the time at the moment, oh, they're going all out for B2B. They don't care about the customer anymore. Well, clearly they do, because they're putting them both in the same sentence, as did Phil Harrison all those months ago.
Yeah.
So I thought that was,
you know, they have people leave the gaming companies, these big time, with Microsoft, Nintendo, everybody, they have people that come and go all the time. It's just, it's business. I think it's a bigger deal because of Google and Stadia in general, because Stadia is the new player in the game. Whereas the other companies, they don't make as big of a deal because they're established. But, I'm sure Microsoft didn't have all the same people when they first jumped in with Xbox, many years ago. But, and so it's just Stadia is going to have to deal with that. And I think they've still done a fairly good job. They've had their bumps, but I don't know who doesn't have bumps when you're jumping into something new.
Yeah.
I think this is hot off the heels of the Epic versus Apple comment. It actually says it at the top of this article where the guy at Epic, I can't remember his name now. Tim Sweeney, is it?
Tim Sweeney.
Yeah.
He's got a
he was unsure as
after.
to whether Stadia was even a service anymore.
No, it was the lawyer. It was the lawyer. The lawyer
judge,
said,
wasn't
"Oh,
it,
I thought, or something like that said, or I thought
was
Stadia
the
had
first-
closed down." And Tim Sweeney
first
said,
mistake.
"No, they've just severely rolled back what they're doing, or they significantly." That was the word. He just said significantly, and of course, everybody jumps on the word significantly. But it's just a turn of phrase. He's basically saying that their ambition of where they wanted to go. Yeah, they're not, first party games and all that kind of stuff. That they've closed that bit down. But people jumped on the word significant. See, significantly. He said significantly. You see, so that means totally. And it's just like, no, you'd say that, wouldn't you? It's like
I like this guy. I mean, he looks.
Cuddly.
His picture here, he does it well. In his picture, he kind of looks.
It's not a dating
like
site, Stadia.
I was gonna say, hey, he looks like just a rock star there, just rocking with Google. Look at him there.
I want to give him a cuddle.
Made a Hearn.
Well, Rock's taking it a different direction now.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't know. Alex in the chat said, was that a photo of Clive with hair? So I was confused.
Yeah.
Clive works for Google now?
Yeah.
Nice disguise.
Don't
He's
start
got-
that rumor.
He's got a heritage though at Google because he was significant on delivering Project Stream. And part of that team and pretty, so it looks like a promotion, not him but Dov. Looks like a sort of
big internal
from within, but somebody who's been on the project, understands the project, been on the project from the early days, like 2-3 years.
Isn't that a good thing though?
Before because the other thing, so I've said this before, but so there's a lot of people. So a lot of people moan that the thing that's wrong with Stadia is it was poor delivery. Yeah, that's what's wrong with Stadia. Out the door, as a product, it was delivered in a poor manner. Half these features were missing, and all these different things, and this is what let it down, and all these things. Who was in charge of that? John Justice.
Can't think
Now
of the guy's
John
name.
Justice. Now John Justice goes.
The superhero.
Yeah, now John Justice goes. Those same people who are condemning the bad delivery of the product are going, "Oh no, it's all over for Stadia because the head of the product's gone." Well, which one? So which one is it? Was it an amazing product delivery, and John Justice is amazing because of that, or was it a poor product delivery? And therefore, John Justice leaving will have minimal effect. You can't have your cake and eat it, people. So
What
what
else
is
do you
it?
do with cake?
Yeah, some of you will. It is an expression, of course. But yeah,
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's like now. I'm not saying that's what what I'm merely talking about is people's opinions don't. If you have a certain opinion, it means that you can't have the other opinion because it doesn't balance it off, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? It's like, it's either was a good product launch and the head of that person responsible for it is a great guy, and therefore him going is a nightmare, or it was a bad product delivery and the guy responsible for that is going and that's a good thing. But you can't have both. So pick
It will be
one.
interesting to see where this new team of people take Stadia over the next year. And I think a lot of people think that the people that were in charge of Stadia up until now like I don't know who's in charge of making which decisions. I'm sure there's decisions that come from above John Justice that he had no control over as well, and to kind of pin certain things on him without knowing for sure that it was his decision to make.
Yeah, no, I'm not in any way.
No, I know you weren't.
Either of those opinions, I wasn't criticizing John Justice, and I'm not really particularly hammering on the product delivery. What I'm more is people's reactions. The same people that say the product delivery was terrible are equally the same people who are saying the man in charge of that is a disaster. And it's
I mean,
so it's like which opinion is
but that can be the same as almost every good and bad decision that happens with Stadia, where it's the same people. Those same people are the ones that will be all about Stadia for one thing, and they do something else that they don't like. Oh, now they're against it, and then it's you can't have everything the way you want it. It doesn't work like that. And and in the business world, the real world, that's how things work. When you don't do the right things so many times, you get replaced. I don't know who's going to keep somebody to let them keep failing and, or messing things up. How long do you get to stay around?
It's a bit like this article, people going, we're saying, look, but Stadia have already said, in February, they said exactly what they were going to do. No, they need to come out again and they need to say it again. Well, no, they've said it. No, they need to come out again. So they go, all right, okay. So like today, they come out and they say exactly what they've already said that they're going to do again. And then those same people are asking that going, yeah, well, they're going to say that, aren't they? They're going to say that. And it's just like, well, for God's sake, like,
seriously.
Like you wanted them to come out and say something, and now they do. You go, yeah, but they have to say that, don't they? So it's like, well, what's the point? What is the point?
This is why they don't say anything a lot of times. And I approve of that. Like when they said at one point when they came out a while back and said, you know what, we're just not going to say anything unless something, unless it's ready to come out. Like I thought that was great. I know it was going to piss off half the community because everybody, the way society is like, they got to know it right now. You got to know it now. And I'm just like, why? What? You're going to complain. If they drop it right now and it's not ready, oh, that's something to complain about. If it's ready, all right, yay for Stadia. And when it's not up to your expectations because they haven't had enough time to get it done, well, I knew they were going to blow it. It's Google. I applauded Google for saying and Stadia for saying, you know what, we're not going to say anything until we want to say it or we're ready to announce something. And it was about time that they did that.
Now, funnily enough, we do have a hot topic, although that has been very hot and quite a topic. So we'll quickly move across because it kind of has a connecting segue. There we go. So this happened, I think, was it Tuesday? Tuesday, wasn't it, Dan, that we got the new update for Destiny 2, the Season of the Splicer. And of course, Stadia Source, you guys reported fairly sharpish, I think you were in collaboration with Cloudy, that it appeared that they'd accidentally left the button on for crossplay. Oops. Of course,
that's a good accident. Whoopsie.
Yeah, wasn't it? Who knows? It certainly got them some PR. But what it really did was to show the potential for Stadia, because straight away, I know Dan, you did a test with Duncan.
I think everybody did a test.
Now I tried. I haven't got any friends, so I just played with myself as I normally do.
No comment.
Yeah, indeed. We've gone past the watershed, haven't we?
I wasn't going to say nothing.
Tell us all about it, Dan, quickly.
So I got a message from Duncan saying, I think that crossplay is live on Destiny. I was like, well, this is not supposed to be coming out until fall. So I jumped on Stadia, he jumped on GeForce Now, and lo and behold, I actually was able to join the same lobby as him and run around the tower with him. It kind of worked because obviously there's no way to send cross-platform invites through Stadia or through GeForce Now. So you kind of have to have that person on your friends list and have it linked to like the cross-save so that friends kind of appear across both platforms. And as you can see there on that picture there, like we've got a few usernames of people that you can't have those usernames on Stadia. You can't have spaces, you can't have umlauts, you can't have hyphens and things like that, and whatever that gun symbol is there. So that just goes to show that I was able to see people on other platforms. I was trying to see if I could play with people on Xbox, because it seemed that I could only match up with people that were like on PC based, so mouse and keyboard. But I tried to boot up my Xbox, and I kid you not, I turned my Xbox on and I got a 4 gigabyte update. So I was like, okay, that shouldn't take long. Okay, boot Destiny 2 up, 70, I think it was something like 78 gigabyte or something. And I left it going overnight. I woke up about 3 o'clock in the morning. It was quite funny because I don't know if you know, but you can stream your Xbox console to your phone. If you've got one on the same Wi-Fi. So I booted up my Xbox on my phone to check the progress of it, and it was like 80% at 3 o'clock in the morning. So I was like, no, screw this. So I never actually got to test it on Xbox. But
how did it run though on Stadia with as the accident?
It was as it should have, as you'd expected to be. Like, there was no glitching on his part. I mean, we didn't actually do a mission together, but
right. It showed what it did is I'm wondering, was it really, like, I know they came out and said it was obviously an accident, and obviously they're going to have to say that, but was it really, or was it like, hey, let's just see what happens if we accidentally do this, and as a test kind of to see how the system can handle something like that? Because I mean, to me, that would be a good way to act like you're doing an accident, and really you're actually watching and testing things out to see how the system handles it all.
Not very well, because there was everybody that tried to jump in to test it couldn't get in the game, such that there was 1,000 player queues to get into the game. I got in relatively quickly.
But if you think about as a crossplay, that's to be expected though, with something that big. Like that I would have, if it had been ready at that time and they had done that anyways, I would have expected it to be like that to begin with. For me, like because you would think like such a big game as Destiny 2, hey, guess what? Now it's crossplay enabled, and you can play on anything with anybody. Everybody's going to fly to that game, and then the server's going to be like, we're broke. We're going to put you in a queue.
I mean, they normally have those kinds of delays when they launch a new season anyway, don't they? I mean, that's always been my experience.
I mean, like Cyberpunk had?
Well, yeah, but Destiny specifically over the years.
Yeah.
But I think you're right, though, Aaron. I undoubtedly, once word broke, I'm sure it was all over Reddit, that this was a thing. Every man and his friend wanted to jump in and have a crack at it, except for me.
So I'm sure they were just like, they're like, oh, quick, the red alert alarm is flying off, going, oh my God, what do we do? Who hit the button? I told you not to press the red button. And when they turn it off, they're like, wait, let's look and see what happened, so we can assess the situation and fix things that we need to get this ready. Because why wait until it's released and then you have these issues?
So at least it's a proof of concept. We know that it works. Therefore, it's definitely coming. It's just going to be a server issue. That's
what I looked at it as. I took this as they said accident. I took it as a win, because you just showed that it does work
in the real world.
It overloaded, but that was because you had tons of people that jumped on board. I mean, it was no different than Cyberpunk, when everybody and anybody jumped on board, and the server was like, "Holy crap, what's going on?"
It probably wouldn't have, like if they were just testing one space and then accidentally, it probably with limited server space anyway, because it's not ready to roll out.
A few blades on.
Exactly. Yeah. And this was actually, like I said, I take this as a win, because you just showed everybody, hey, guess what we can do on Stadia? Guess what can be done on Stadia? And for the most part, it worked in for a little bit. I mean, until everybody found out and then bombarded the system. But it showed that it worked, and that's another win for Stadia, in my opinion.
No, totally. Of course, the interesting thing is that we've, in a way, I guess, a lot of this has come about because of this explosion of places that you can play games now. I mean, you think about where you can play Destiny. It's GFN, it's PC, it's Xbox, it's PlayStation, it's Stadia, and it makes every bit of sense that they started to expand the ability for you to play with your friends everywhere, because again, Destiny is a franchise that depends on the longevity of you subscribing. You keep paying your money, so you're going to see that more and more. But it's definitely a work in progress, isn't it? We know with Outriders, for example, that was supposed to bring cross-play with Stadia, which still isn't there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I refunded that game.
Did you?
Yeah, I'd played it for more than 2 hours, and I think I'd had it longer than the period that you're allowed to get a refund. But I emailed the Stadia support and I said, look, this product is not what you said it was going to be with the crossplay and all, and the patch. So they gave me a refund to it. I might come back to it in the future if they fix all of the issues. But
it's a shame.
We've got one company dropping crossplay by accident, and then one that's actually meant to be there can't be bothered to put it in. So
and the one that accidentally dropped it got it working.
And it worked flawlessly.
And that's another thing. Did they
Maybe
do
they're
that?
throwing shade?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, Clive. I was going to say that. I'm like, was it really an accident, or was this partly a test and also hey, Outriders, look what works. See how we made an accident work, and you can't.
All those people that said Outriders was going to be the next Destiny, do this.
Destiny says, hold my beer.
Hold my beer.
So many puns we could make on that accident.
We could go on forever, but we've been going on for 1 hour and 40 minutes, the longest GSN out of its 63-year history. So it's probably time that we do bring it to a swift conclusion. Let me hide that screen. There we go. Let's bring us all back to the middle. Gentlemen, it's been an absolute blast. I've enjoyed myself. I hope you have as well. Absolutely. Dan, I know you're never going to ask me back again, but I don't care. I've enjoyed this one-off experience.
You said that last time when we asked you back.
You did.
Flange episode.
Yeah. And I've been a good boy this week. There have been no flanges or anything.
Well, we did veer off to the Websters.
We did. No, that was all perfectly innocent and very clean.
We were just helping them with it. We were just giving you guys a sneak peek of the new show.
Yes,
the new network.
It's called When Mel Gibson's Beard Goes Wrong. And it's coming to GFN soon.
I thought that we were just showcasing their new film source network.
Yeah, exactly.
You were just giving you just a wee snippet.
So, gentlemen, thank you so much for being lovely guests. So, I'll start with you, Aaron. Where can we be finding you? Which is pretty much, to be honest, everywhere, every day.
Yeah, you guys can. Yeah, pretty much. I'm StadiaVetGaming on YouTube, StadiaVetGaming on Twitter. But you guys, you can find me on Rock's Review. So I'm with Rock all the time. Apparently with Ray on Cloud Station TV. We're going to be. Yes. I just can't get rid of him. You can find me actually tonight. I'm going to be back live again on Ryzak's channel on the Stadia Best Community Network on Game Over, where I will be facing off against Meg in a battle of Stadia wits, where apparently the odds are stacked against me because I've seen the poll on Twitter. My number of votes keeps going down. I looked yesterday. I was in the 30s. Today I'm at 22%. I think. It doesn't look good for me, so
it's been rigged. They're keeping the book against you.
The game host himself posted on there that he had a favorite. So right off the bat,
the odds are going down. He's going to be pulling a switch.
The odds are not in my favor, like some of these movies I've seen.
What time is that today?
That is at 7 p.m. Central, and I have another show scheduled tonight at 10 p.m. Central Standard Time for Grand Theft Auto 5. I may end up doing it just because I had a blast with that. And then I have shows scheduled every other day. So, and the occasional invites, if I ever get invited to GSN again, which probably won't happen. Once Avery comes back, I may not be allowed back here. But I have fun when I'm here. These guys are great. I love all of them.
Oh, bless you. We love you too.
Absolutely.
Mr. Illenden, not Lord Kensal. Where can we be seeing you in the coming
days?
You
can find me on the Stadia Monday Night Chat over on Clive Illenden YouTube channel. Stadia Monday Night Chat every 10 p.m. British summertime, Mondays. Check it out. That's where I am. And on Twitter at Clive Illenden. Yeah.
An amazing show, well deserved of all of its accolades and awards. I know you recently picked up a Brit Award. There's a BAFTA in the offing as well. Which is
a brick award, through the window.
The Brazilians, the Russians, the Indians, and the Chinese all outside. Dead it off the air! Get him there. Dan, are you doing anything else this week? Can we look forward to you doing any kind of non-GSN podcasty stuff? Or are you going to be doing a show with
I want to kind of get into Kaze and the Wild Mass, because I started streaming that. I did about 2 streams, so I want to kind of jump into that. I know we've got a new episode of the greatest game of all time coming out from Avery. Other than that, no, nothing from me. But we've got people streaming. Yeah, I actually took part in, I think it's the next episode to air, or maybe the one after that. So I actually had a great fun just pretending I was in a courtroom, I guess. But it's definitely one to watch. That we already have had one episode. We already had one episode with Bryant
Caleb
from the Nerf Report and Caleb, the best walking simulator of all time. So
that's awesome show.
It's just laughs all the way through, and definitely.
Well, you gotta laugh with a walking simulator.
The Village is a walking simulator. I mean, just walking.
There are a lot of them, right?
Solving puzzles. I mean, what else do you want?
That's absolutely that's one right there.
And don't forget, obviously, we've got streamers all throughout the week. Streaming different games. I know Blue Bobs is doing a lot of Resident Evil at the moment. So if you're not bothered about spoilers, then go and check him out. I don't know who's streaming on what days, because a lot of people have decided they wanted to move house this week and
what is up with that? So who authorized that, Dan?
No, I know.
I don't know.
They don't even let you know, do they?
They need to stagger it. So one moves house one week, one moves house next week.
Exactly.
Yeah, seriously, people, come on.
Authoritarian.
I know, right? I'm still waiting on Avery's new Redneck Roundup podcast. He's let me down because he made the announcement a while back, and I haven't seen it come out yet. So
that one I would definitely tune in for. And me, I've been Rock, ladies and gentlemen. This is just keeping the seat warm for the professionals. Avery will be back very soon. You can find me Tuesday evenings on the Rock Review with my very good friend Aaron down below, John. And starting next Tuesday, Ray will be joining us as a permanent member of the panel. And we're being joined by Caleb J. Ross as a guest. So that's one to look out for. Now, if you've been listening to the podcast today, you can join us live most Thursday evenings right here on YouTube. And if you're watching us on YouTube, you can download the podcast on Spotify, Pocket Casts, and everywhere else that sells and gives away podcasts. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram. That's at GamingSourceNet. Like us on Facebook. Join our Discord at stadiasource.com/Discord. And check out all new GSN, GeForce Now Source, and Stadia Source merch at stadiasource.com/merch. Now, this I've been told to say that I can freely advertise myself here, but I do feel slightly awkward. Nonetheless, I'm honor bound by contract.
He's going to do it anyways.
I'm going to do it anyway. Hosting has been generously provided by my company, which is bizarrely called Rock. If your business is looking for a tech powerhouse to launch the next big app, or you want to implement some cutting-edge AI, or simply need the best web development money can buy, check out all the services provided by rock.co.uk, celebrating 20 years next year, ladies and gentlemen. Not just a there you go.
Highly recommended.
Just a flange away.
Very much. Enough of that. Let's move on. If you haven't already, down below is a thumbs up button that lets you know you like the show. And right next to it is a subscribe button that lets you know every time we post a new video. You can also become a member of the Gaming Source Network channel by clicking the join button below. Great perks, every level of budget. I've been your host, Rock, and on behalf of Gaming Source Network, your number one source for all things gaming, and these fantastic guests. Thank you for joining us for the GSN Round Table. Have a good one. We'll be back next Thursday. Say goodbye, gentlemen.
Goodbye, gentlemen.
Bye, gentlemen.
Hang on, haven't I got to press a bit of music? Oh, here it is.
There we go.
This is the one. Yes,
that's up enough.
It's time to